All wicked men, help me build an ark and save yourselves.
What are you talking about, old man?
Beware of the
Yeah,
flood.
leave us alone, old man.
The flood.
Bro,
the
what's
flood.
that guy's problem? Yeah, what's a flood anyway? Hey man, that's my cheeseburger. I've never even seen rain before. Whatever, dude, let's eat.
Put your hands up or I'll blow your freaking head off.
Easy there, princess. You need to chill.
You better give me your food and money right now.
You can kiss my ass. Well, you guys need to just relax, man. Why don't we just all work together or whatever? And then we can build a better future for ourselves and our children. Wouldn't that be cool?
Okay. I actually really like your hair.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I just discovered this new thing. I think I'm gonna call it conditioner. It's pretty rad. Whatever happened to bros before hoes, man? I'm out of here.
So tell me more about, the flood, beware of the flood.
Yeah, I think maybe we could make something work.
Yeah, we really messed those Amalekites up, man. Yeah, we showed them who's boss.
Hello, hello, hello. Can you guys hear me? Is this thing on? Is this working? Sorry, I cut the little intro thing short because I didn't have time to do a new one. My plan was I was gonna go back and look at all these old wacky skits that I did way back in the day, and then put those as the intro. The stream is starting, but anyway, I also increased the delay between when I'm talking and when the chat can hear me. Because Alpha, I think you in particular were mentioning how I was lagging sometimes. So hypothetically, theoretically, that should fix the issue. So if you guys can hear me, and if everything sounds good, I don't feel like I'm in a tunnel far away. I know you guys are going to say I'm low because I just realized I forgot to turn my mic up, but I already did. Boom. So now no one can say that. I made the little mark. How long did it take to do that video? Brother, I think I worked on that for 8, 9, 10 hours or something like that. It was grueling, and I never even used the word grueling. First time this year I've used the word grueling. Anyway, let's do roll call. Camilla, hi, hello. I hope your project of translating videos into Portuguese goes well. If that's the same person and my memory serves correctly. Erica Jean, hello. Sophia, hello. Lethal Trip, hello. Kitty Cat Rock 101, hello, hello. Tim, hello. Alpha, hello, hello. Sig, what's going on, brother? Veronica, hello. Chillin', hello, hello, hello. Aurelian Vagrant, howdy hey. You need a boy on the front of that, and then you'll sound cool, just like me. Jess, hello. Wally Live, love it. You haven't watched it yet. How do you know you love it? Come on. We do conditional love around here. I have to prove my worth to you, Jess. Don't just accept some slop, okay? Demand higher. Anyway, roll call is done. You guys, oh, wait. Princess AK, hello. Wow, it's Wally, the man. What's up? Is your Catholic friends here? Checking this out. We live, we love you, dude. I'm guessing that's a thing. Oh, now we got more roll call. They're coming in now. J-Nick, hey, bro. Daniela, hello, hello, hello. Danielle, hello, hello, hello. All right, today I have a esteemed guest, and as always, we give them time to tell their entire life story, to sum up their value as a human being within 2 minutes, which isn't true at all. No pressure whatsoever at all. But hi,
no pressure.
Why don't you tell the fine people of the JW Talks live stream about yourself and your journey and what brought you here? And okay. Hold on, I'm going to hit a button, and it's going to do a cool little swooshy thing. Boom.
Okay, so hello everybody. My name is Alyssa, and I have been on YouTube in the XJW world pretty much since the beginning of the year. Originally started out on TikTok. I am an ex-Jehovah's Witness. I was born and raised in it, 4th generation. I left almost 2 years ago to the date. We left July 2023. Me and my husband left with our 2 small children after discovering we were in a cult, which was mind-blowing. Oh my goodness, I didn't realize that. We lost, I have my full story, which is almost, I think it's almost an hour or over an hour on my page, but to sum things up, we left and disassociated because we wanted to have a completely clear break for our kids' sake. We didn't want to have them feeling like they were living a double life in any way, shape, or form. So we left, we disassociated after kind of fading and being inactive for about 8 months. And with that came losing
Oh,
everybody
sorry.
we knew.
A little echo. Yep, I forgot I had a wrong button. I see you guys. Sorry, I was distracted. I fixed the echo. I know that was my fault. That was
Wow,
my
Wally.
fault.
Wow.
I know.
Great.
It's fine. Great. Now do I have to tell my story again?
Now I have to
Get
do
it
it all
together,
over
mister.
again.
No. Okay, I'm locked in. I'm locked in.
Okay, we left. We lost everyone. We are fully shunned by all family. And we have the joy of living like a mile from my husband's family. So we literally see them everywhere. And we get to enjoy the fun. Like, oh my God, it's the evil apostate looks that wherever we are and see them. But yeah, XJW for almost 2 years now. And have been telling my story on social media for the majority of that time because I figured, why not? Everybody's already shunning us. What's the worst that's going to happen? They shun us harder? I don't know.
Exactly. I vibe with that. Well, I'm just going to jump right into it. No filler, no nonsense. So I was listening as I was working out and playing basketball about an hour ago. I was listening to your story, and there's a bit of a, feel free to rant, by the way. This is the channel where we just rant. So if you get cooking and just go for it, okay? But anyway, I have this little hypothesis that I've been cooking up even while I was a witness. And it is how when people have children, it obviously fundamentally changes your entire world, your worldview, your priorities, everything about your mind, body, life, everything changes, right?
Yes.
Now, what I noticed was that when people had kids, they were more likely to leave the organization than when they were single. And just from like the firsthand experience, the first time I noticed it was with my aunt and uncle. She was a pioneer, he was a ministerial servant, doing the thing. And then they had their first kid, and I mean like frame one, just immediately were like, yeah, we're gonna pull back from this. Mm-hmm. Now they're still go to the memorial and kind of pretend to be witnesses and stuff like that. So, whatever. But it wasn't, we're going to the meetings every week. And even talking to them, they were very intentional with that. They would say, we don't want to raise our kids how we were raised. We want them to be able to enjoy college, enjoy having friends, have a more normal life, because it's not normal. So I'm just curious if you could speak to that from your perspective as a mother, as a lady. So the room is yours.
I mean, okay, so I did see someone ask how long I was in. 35 years when I was disassociated. I was baptized at 13. So yeah, I became a mom later in life. After doing all the things to be like ultra spiritual. I did pioneer for like a year, hated it, so that didn't last more than a year. But once we had kids, first of all, COVID hit, like literally 3 months after, no, she was 5 months old. 5 months after our first was born. So everything shut down, which is truly like the best thing that ever could have happened to us, because we didn't have the pressure to be like at every meeting in person. We weren't dealing with service, like nothing. And I really think that like helped us see, like, well, we also were like, I was a super type 8 mom. So I was like, she was on a schedule and she was napping when I wanted her to and in bed at 7. So even when we were on Zoom, I would log off because I'm just like, I'm putting my baby to sleep. Like if you can't understand that, then you're the issue. So then once we went back
one of my favorite
person,
expressions to tell people, if you don't understand that, the problem is yours.
The problem is yours. We had our second baby before we were back in person. So he was born and he was like 6 weeks old when they officially went back to in-person meetings.
Okay.
And I was so used to life at home with my kids, or with my first, that literally I was just like, I'm not going out of my way to be in person when I still have Zoom to be on. And I just didn't want to pressure my kids into being outside of their like normal routines. And then we also started questioning the blood doctrine, because I'm like, I'm not going to allow my child to die over something that I literally don't have, like, I can't wrap my head around it. I don't feel like it's something I will ever like fully believe. So why am I going to potentially risk their lives. And then the thought process started of like, I don't want them, again, living the life I was raised like, where it was just the nonstop being a little kid in service and at meetings, and like expected to comment once you could start talking, and expected to be knocking on doors the second you could present something, even if it was like, take this. Like, I had anxiety my whole childhood because of being raised Jehovah's Witness, and I didn't want my kids to have that. So we chose to disassociate too, because we were ready for them to just start living their lives. And that involved birthdays, holidays. We wanted them to have it all with like zero guilt about it. And I just think as a parent, your entire mindset shifts when you have kids. And you can either go one of two directions, because we had examples in my husband's family who had kids around the same time of us, who went like total, like, we are going to be the most spiritual family ever, and we're going to pioneer even when we have a baby at home. Like, they went the full opposite. And I'm like, no, my kids' lives are more important than my appearance.
So that actually fits into my hypothesis, but continue. I'll
yeah. So I mean, it's just, I think as a parent, you can, and I think that's why you see so many people wake up once they become a parent, because they're just like, I don't want my child to have this life. Like, I'm miserable. I've been miserable. I have anxiety or depression issues or whatever may have come from being in that organization. And they're just like, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. And then, of course, you deep dive into the organization and you're like, oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm out of here. So yeah, I think that when you have that big life-changing experience, so for me, it was getting married, and, you know, that's a pretty big deal. Like, you're not just doing the whole single routine. And one of the things that I really wanted to do was become the best Jehovah's Witness I possibly could, because now I even hate just thinking about this, but now I was the head of the household and I was responsible for someone else's spirituality. Barf. Yeah, that whole concept is just dumb. And I reckon, like, that's the closest example that I can point to in my own life. And I reckon that having a kid is somewhat similar of, okay, now that I'm responsible for this little gift from God, or an enemy from God, I suppose who you ask.
Yeah. Yes.
I need to make sure that I'm the best Jehovah's Witness possible. And I think what comes along with that almost inevitably is exploring doubt. Because that's what you start. You're like, okay, well, in order to, you know, become the best Jehovah's Witness, I have to make sure I tackle anything that might not make me that. And that is going to be maybe a doubt that you have. So was that kind of your experience? Like, it's like a waking up before you wake up process?
Yeah. Well, and I have to give credit to my husband. So he was the one that technically woke up first, and then he helped wake me up. But that's exactly what he did. Because we were married 12 years before we had our daughter. So we were like just the young married couple for the longest time, and we never did much. Like, honestly, we were we'd be like really, really active, and then we'd just kind of fall off the bandwagon, and we would like be like kind of lazy, spiritually lazy, as they love to say. And he was the one who was like, when we had our daughter, he's like, I have to step it up. I have to be the head of this household and be a good spiritual husband. And so he was like, I need to prove some of the doubts I have to myself and like build my spirituality. And those doubts then unlocked doors to waking up. And he was just like, okay, so my doubt was like a logical and a really good doubt to have, because it makes no sense. There's no biblical backing. So he woke up like a year, maybe even more before I did. And I was just I was in the postpartum world. I was like, I don't even care about anything. I'm just trying to focus on my child sleeping every night so I get more than 4 hours of sleep. But once he woke up, then he kind of like talked to me about it. And I was like, I didn't believe him at first. I thought he was crazy. I thought he was losing his mind. And then I started doing research myself, and it was like, oh yeah, no, this is all fake. We got to get out of here. We got to save our kids from this. There's no way we didn't fake it. We literally, it was like a split decision overnight where I woke up and I'm like, we're done. I'm not going back to a meeting. We stopped praying with him. We got rid of the book of Bible story, the devil book. I hate that thing with the like pictures of Jesus and all that stuff. And I'm like, no, we're done. We're done with this. So it was, yeah, I think as a parent, you just have to like And like you said, the big life changes kind of start making you prove to yourself that it's the truth, and that usually backfires for the organization, not for yourself.
It can go one of two ways, where you like, oh man, all of this just perfectly makes sense to me, and you can be like a delusional little knucklehead and just kind of keep on the hamster wheel. But I feel like most people, if they take the time to actually, and you had like the double benefit, now that I think about it. So you have COVID in one box, which gives you more time to think about your religion and your lifestyle. And then you have a child, which forces you to think about your choices and your lifestyle. So they just hit you with the 1-2 punch.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I'm thankful that it happened that way, but it was interesting because like once we went back to like in person, our first thing we went to, literally the very first in person, was the memorial. And they had the assembly hall here, and they had like 6 congregations there. So it was like, I'm sitting there as a mom going like, so we're so safe all this time, and now you're cramming 1,000 people into like a building for a night. And my husband says, he words it the better way, but he's like, those warm fuzzy feelings you got from like being around the brotherhood were like totally gone after COVID. And it was just like, this is not, that like emotional pull was just gone. I don't know what it was, but I think just COVID and everything, and the way they handled that, like the organization themselves handled it, was like very eye-opening.
I do have some questions about COVID, because I was listening to your story and there was like stuff that I didn't even know about or anything. Sig, a member of the channel of Wally World for 37 months. Holy cow, 37 months. Look at that. That's the goat right there. Anyway, sorry. I get distracted easily with shiny jingling things. So
I know, I'm ignoring the chat. Sorry.
When your husband wakes up first, did he do the like straw in the hair, foaming at the mouth, crazy, like this is a cult? Or was he just like, I'm gonna relax and just let her ease her way into it?
No, very much so. So he kind of just, the first thing he did was he stopped praying. Like we would pray together as a couple before like meals and with the kids and stuff. And he stopped doing that. And I was just kind of like, okay.
That's weird though, because I mean, if there's anyone here that's never been a witness, like praying before you eat is the most monotonous, but you have to do it. It's the one time you get to like go check in with Jesus during the day. Yeah. And so you're having a bowl of cereal and you're like, thanks for the Fruit Loops, dog.
Thank you.
But how was that for you though? Because it is a big ritual, right? Even if it is performative, it's a big deal. So what was that like in your mind? Were you just like, what the hell, dude? Or
yeah, I was a little concerned. So I will say that like, because I was so hyper in tuned to like postpartum depression, because they like drill it in your head as a mother, I was always like checking in with myself. And I thought they also talk about how dads can get postpartum depression as well. So I was like, maybe he's going through something, and like, I'm just going to give him his space. I'm not pushing this. Like I still would pray with the kids before bed. Mind you, they were babies. So it'd be like, okay, I'm just going to say something quick. Like, thanks for a day. Bye. Please make them sleep tonight. So yeah, it started with that. It started with him with the praying.
Why would you bless me with this thing that never sleeps? What the hell, dude?
Why? And then he stopped, like, so we mostly did Zoom. Like we did one Sunday a meeting in person, probably a month, just to like show our face, because we'd get all the text messages like, we miss you. How are you? Are you okay? So we'd kind of show our face to just get him off our back. But he stopped listening on the Zoom stuff, and he'd be like working, and I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. And then it was like when I was feeling like something was going wrong with him. I thought he had a guilty conscience. I thought he was hiding something. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to be that Christian wife. I'm going to step it up. I'm going to start studying in front of like in front of him, and like setting an example. I'm going to start going back to in-person meetings. And I'd be like, okay, let's go to the meeting today. And he'd be like, no, I'm okay. And I'm like, okay. And I would like pack the kids up and go. I did that, I think 2 or 3 times. And I was like, this is so, like, first of all,
you only made it 3 times.
I'm never doing that again.
You're like, this is bogus, man.
I'm like, this is horrible. I'm not doing this. And I came home after like the second or third time it was. And he literally was just like, he'd work in the yard. He'd find some busy work to do when I was like getting the kids ready. And it was like, I think he was trying really hard to not like outright be that like crazy, like you're in a cult.
Like, well, he does have to fix the sink in the downstairs bathroom, so
exactly. He needed to rake the yard for the 3rd time. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I was just like, what is going on? And of course I asked him, like, do you have a guilty conscience? Do we need to have a shepherding call? Do we need the elders here? And he was like, no, it's all good. Like, I just don't believe this is the truth anymore. And I was like, oh my gosh, my husband is one of those evil apostates. What am I going to do with myself? And then he told me, I was like, don't tell me anything apostate. I don't want to hear any apostate stuff you've heard. Tell me something that you've seen maybe in the news that you want me to look at. And he told me to look at Australia Royal Commission. He's like, it's nothing apostate. It's literally on the government's website. It has court transcripts, which are from the government. So you know it's truthful because, again, it's court transcripts. He's like, I know you like true crime. Maybe you want to look at that. And I was like, we'll see. And I think it took me like 3 days. And I'm like 2 a.m. in the morning looking at it and reading it all. I'm like, oh my God, we're in a cult. How do we get out? How do we get away
Everyone,
from this?
when they hear about the Royal Commission and they see it, they're like, oh my. It is fascinating though to see like an elder who you respect these guys. You know, they're the ones that you look to and turn to for this, this wisdom. And you see them on a witness stand just backpedaling and lying through their faces and just not wanting to just tell the truth, man. Just tell the freaking truth. And you're like, wow. I thought the Catholics looked bad when they were trying to defend their policies, but the witnesses look so much worse.
Like their word vomit and like avoiding answering the question directly. And I was just like, I read it first and then I was like, okay, I need to actually watch some of the videos, especially Jeffrey Jackson. I was like, I need to see what he actually, like how his wording was. And then it was like even worse than how I read it. And I was like, okay, well, I'm done with this. In my head, I was literally like, my kids will never be safe in this organization because I don't know if brother so-and-so has been just moved around and has a history of being a creeper. I'm not doing this. Weirdly enough, we had somebody locally, gosh, it was probably 5 years before that. His home was literally raided by the FBI because of images he had on his computer.
Oh,
and
boy.
He's in federal prison. That was a good
YouTube catch right there. You're like,
yeah,
good job. Proud of you.
He was in federal prison, and so like our entire car. I mean, everybody in the area knew. Obviously, you can't hide that.
No,
you can't hide that. He obviously got disfellowshipped because, again, you can't hide somebody going to federal prison, and it was in the news and like all over the news. And it was really funny because my brother-in-law at the time, he's like a really like, he's a gossiper. He loves to gossip. So he was like looking at the court transcripts and like sharing them with people in service. And he got counseled for talking about it. Like, we don't talk about this. That is still your brother, blah, 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 blah. I was just like, oh, so we're protecting the bad person. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, that's how predators survive.
Yeah.
Okay, like imagine a bunch of deer are just out there like, okay guys, just ignore him, just pretend like he's not there, it'll be fine. We don't talk about him. He's like, motherfucker just got eaten, man.
Yeah. So like this man is supposed to be out of prison in like I think 5 years. So I'm like, I would be very interested to see. I'm sure he's gonna come back and be reinstated. And like because they've been told like don't talk about him. You know he's going to be one of those that they kind of just sweep under the rug. And I'm like, absolutely not. If that's one case, I know there's a ton of them. And the only reason why we know that one is because the FBI was following him for months upon months, building a case against him.
Yeah, it is eye-opening, though, for sure. Well, it's good that, because I think a lot of people, it's so easy for when one partner wakes up just to go full-on flood. I want to just tell you everything that I'm finding. And I always tell people, is that Lance in chat? Whoever's ban Lance.
Oh yeah, he's terrible.
Yeah, he's the worst. Put him in timeout. Anyway, no, but when one wakes up, it's always like this really shaky ground. But if you just can like relax a little bit and just like I'm not crazy, and when someone asks, like feeding them just little bits at a time, is like super.
No,
important.
absolutely. I think the more calm you can be, the more you just like continue to be the mate that you normally are and always are to like disprove that like these people leave Jehovah and turn crazy. Like, it's such a lie. So yeah, I think as hard as it is for people, I think the best approach is just to be calm and like trickle feed as you can.
Yeah, 100%.
So
that is like funny though that you were like, I'm gonna be the Christian mom, and you make it 3 meetings. You're like,
I'm like, this is not for me. I am not that.
So I want to jump back to something you mentioned in your video about these mysterious food boxes. Now this is news to me because I've been out of the organization like 10 years now. So you know, I've heard whispers of this, but I wasn't around. I didn't know like the procedure. Can you tell the fine people of YouTube your personal experience with these mysterious food boxes of dubious origin? I'm actually going to give you full cam mode here.
The ones that God brought down from heaven and handed to us in our laps.
Daily manna, baby.
Okay, so yes, during COVID, we started getting these food boxes, and with the elders would reach out to like their service group, and they'd be like, okay, we got some more boxes in. We're going to start dropping them off. You know, we'll leave it on the porch. Don't worry. We're not going to knock on the door or anything because we can't talk to you, obviously, because COVID, and we can't have contact with you. So we were getting them, and like me and my husband, like he was in real estate at the time, and like weirdly enough, real estate was really crazy busy and during COVID. So we were like, we don't feel right taking this. And first of all, we don't eat half the stuff. It'd be like a pound of onions. I'm like, he doesn't eat onions. I don't eat onions. Like, can we give these to someone else? Can we just say, no, thank you? Or if we get them, like, can we, you know, offer them to somebody else? Like maybe our neighbors need them, you know? Jesus said to feed your neighbor and to care for your neighbor. So after like 2 or 3 boxes we got, and half the stuff got bad and we had to throw away. My husband was like talking to his elder dad and was just like, we don't need these. Like, can we just give them to somebody else? Or if they want us to still take them, can we just put it up on Nextdoor, the app for our neighbors in the area? And he was like, oh, no, you have to take them and you can't give them to anybody else. Like if they find out that we're handing these out to other people, they're going to stop giving it to us. And we were like, that's so weird. Well, lo and behold, when my husband was deconstructing, for some reason, he found out information on that. And there's literally a news article on, I don't even remember which website it is, but if you just Google Jehovah's Witness and like COVID food boxes, there's some site. This was all by the U.S. government, which shocking, like, duh, that's where they're getting it from. It was called, what was it called? Like the farmers, I don't even remember. Anyways,
doesn't much matter.
Local farmers were getting paid by the government because their business was down to like give their produce. Sometimes there would be meat, sometimes there'd be dairy. And then they were distributing these boxes to organizations. Whether it was, I just saw my husband comment something about ribeyes. I'm ignoring him.
Made me giggle.
Anyways, it was given to like church organizations, food banks, like anywhere that they thought like these people would be handing them out to the right people. So again,
like a large charity, like, oh, the Jehovah's
charity
Witnesses,
thing,
man.
And Jehovah's Witnesses were getting those. They're like, no, they're only for us. And they're from Jehovah. They had a note, I guess, in a lot of these boxes that was like signed by President Trump and like explaining the program. And a lot of the congregations, I guess, I wasn't involved in that part. We never had one of the letters, but they were taking those out so that
And
the
resealing
friends didn't know that this was from the government.
That's so scuzzy. It's just,
I'm like, why hide that? I don't understand it. I don't understand the logic there. So
it never, like, they have no morals when it comes to their being penny pinchers. It's like truly shocking.
Yeah.
Like, how on earth are you going to get free stuff from the government, try and secretively pass it off as your own?
Yeah.
And then tell people, no, you can't use this to actually feed people. We would rather you throw food away than feed someone that's hungry.
Yeah.
And
it's
these
insane.
people speak for God. They're sitting there thinking, bureaucracy, red tape, more important than people eating food. Like, that is foul.
And the thing is, I can't remember exactly, but if there were letters written or what, but it was like very much worded to the congregations that like the governing body has
decided.
has talked with local food distributors to make this happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like they were just trying to take credit for basically what the president of the United States was doing for the entire country. And it's like, you're crazy. You're horrible. But the article, if you look it up, is talking about how like the JWs really crossed a line of like that, of doing what like the government was basically not wanting them to do. Like you were supposed to feed the hungry and the people who were struggling during COVID, and there were a lot. And instead you were like taking credit for it and only giving it to your people who were active Jehovah's Witnesses, who like probably in our area, especially, like no one needed these food boxes.
Mm-hmm.
My parents did, because their business was like, my dad was unemployed during COVID. So it was like, they needed this. Others, absolutely not. Brother so-and-so who bought his new Land Rover during COVID, he didn't need a food box full of onions and potatoes.
That's insane. And like, what was your, like, when you witnessed this, was it just like one of those things like, I'm gonna store this for later when I have the time to think about this, or like I'm just gonna choose not to think about this because like there's just no moral ground to stand there.
I was just so confused why they were so adamant about not putting it up on like Nextdoor. Because I'm a very active member on that, and I would see people asking all the time, like, my family's hungry. Does anyone have any extra non-perishables they can drop at our door for us? And it was like, would that not be like the most amazing witness to be like, come to the local Kingdom Hall and you can get boxes for yourself and your family? Like, why couldn't they do that? Like,
Rice Krispies and a watchtower, baby.
They literally could have put it out in the parking lot, had like no one like standing within the 6 feet or whatever it was, and fed people, and it would have been such a great witness. But instead they're like, no, this is just for Jehovah's Witnesses. So weird.
Imagine Jesus doing that with the loaves and fishes, and it's like, no, you see that guy over there? No, get Todd out of here. Freaking Todd. That guy sucks. He
doesn't believe I'm the Messiah. Screw him.
He just like keels over and dies. Like, yeah, he deserved it.
Yeah, he deserved that.
That is wild stuff. Yeah. So let's go into the big whopper here. From what you were saying, and this is another one of Wally's hypotheses.
Okay.
So hold on, let me elucidate this for a second here. I am of the firm, hard belief, I don't know why I said firm and hard in the same sentence, that every single person in that organization on some level knows that there's like something off. Yeah. You get past this subcutaneous level of indoctrination, and there be questions that are rolling around in your mind. Maybe you put them off to the side. Maybe you're just too busy to ever think about it. Whatever the case might be. And no one ever is, or not no one ever, but it's very rare for someone to have to address those and face them full on, head on. And I think there's no better example that I can think of about this than the blood doctrine, because it's something that's so easy to all march to. You know, you put on the helmet and everyone just sings the song. They're passing around the cards. You do it when you're a child. When you are a little kid, before you can even have a durable power of attorney, they give you this little pseudo durable power of attorney when you're like 10 years old. Like, oh, I gotta make sure I have that signed out, and so it feels very official, and it's like a group exercise, because we used to sign them and have people, oh, you got to be a witness at the Kingdom Hall. So it was like this whole spectacle that would happen, and you had to update them every couple of years. And it's so easy to do that and be like, yeah, woo, high-fiving each other. We're not going to take blood. I would let myself die. Boom. And then you're in a situation where you have someone that you care about.
Mm-hmm.
Everything changes in that moment when the high-fiving and the chest beating becomes reality. And you have to sit there and think, am I going to let my mom, my son, my daughter just die? Like, am I so confident in this paradise? Am I 100% confident that paradise is real, that I would let them die? And I would hazard a guess that if you did this test on every single Jehovah's Witness, you would have something like 70 to 80% that would be like, I'm never going to do that. Like, sure, I'll say the party line. I will be there and, you know, shouting it from the rooftops. Oh yeah, no blood. We're not going to do that crap. Ain't for us. You're going to get yourself AIDS anyway, brother. Don't you know? They don't even test that stuff. But you're looking at your wife, and she's blood everywhere. It's like a horror film, like the end of The Substance. And Demi Moore's just bleeding everywhere. You're like, oh my God. In that moment, I think when you are face to face with the reality versus the delusion, you have, and there's nowhere to go. You have to make that choice. I really believe that 70% of people will be like, there's just no way. So in your story, you mentioned that you've had a similar, not a similar experience. I've already done my rant. It's time for your rant. You know the subject. I'm going to click this button that shifts the focus over to you and let you talk.
Yeah. So that was a big awakening moment for, I think, both of us. And it was, you know, like you said, you go through the whole, like, filling out your medical durable power of attorney, and you do it every year. And we didn't ever update ours as often as we were supposed to. But when I got pregnant, my father-in-law was very much like, here, he brought me one, and there's some article they give you that's like a printout about pregnancy and blood and all this stuff. Basically, like, just like, remember, yes, there is a potential of bleeding out during labor, but you'll be okay. Don't take blood. It's okay. So I was the good little witness I was supposed to be, and I updated it, and I gave it to my doctor at my, like, 36-week appointment, which is like when you are in the final countdown pretty much. And it was when we checked into the hospital that the doctor that was on call was very like, are you sure that you want this on your file? Like, there is, like, labor and delivery is a very, very dangerous thing. Like, you don't know what could go wrong, especially a first-time mom like I was. Like, she was like, are you sure this is something you're willing to risk? You're not going to take blood in any way, shape, or form. That's what you're saying. And we were both just like, yeah. Like, that's what we said. And I think we both had this moment of like, oh crap, like, this is serious. And then when I was having my baby, there was some extra blood loss, and my husband was literally having, like, an internal dialogue with himself that was like, he said the doctor looked at him for, like, a brief second with this very uncertain look on her face. And he was like, in that split second, he's like, I'll give him blood. I'll give her blood if I have to. Like, this is a no-brainer to me. I'm not losing my wife and my new baby. Like, not worth it. Which is what started him down the road of researching the blood doctrine. But with our second baby, we were still, like, mentally in the religion, and we were probably about 6 weeks out from having him. And he was like, he sat me down and he's like, I just want you to know, I don't want you to have your medical durable power of attorney on file. We're not going to sign anything about no blood. Like, we're going to go into this as if you're going to need blood, and we're going to accept it. He's like, I won't lose you. I won't lose our kids. Like, our daughter was 2.5 at the time. He's like, she doesn't need to be motherless. Like, it's not worth it. I was like, yeah, I agree. Like, I'm not on board with that. So, thankfully everything was fine with that. But it's just, when you're in that moment, and then when you actually think about it, once I had my babies, I'm holding them, and I'm like, if I were in an accident tomorrow and something was happening and they said my baby needs blood, absolutely save them. Do everything you can to save them. I do not care. And the thing that got my husband, and then also, like, when he explained it to me this way, it's like, yeah, that is stupid. Like, what's the worst that's going to happen? This is not an unforgivable sin. You're going to get disfellowshipped. Okay, so you're out, you're kicked out and not spoken to for a year. You come back, you're still alive. Guess what? You still have your life. So it's like, it's not worth it. It's so stupid. Yeah. So, like, when I went to, like, one of my doctors for a follow-up or something, and she made a comment. It was the one who actually checked us in, like, the very first time with the first baby. And she was like, I just don't see a medical durable power of attorney on your file anymore. And I was like, oh yeah, no, we're not doing that anymore. And she literally was like, I am so happy to hear that. She's like, you have no idea, as a doctor, how stressful it is in the like, labor and delivery world. She was like, I have had husbands I have to pull out into the hallway, and I'm like, if you don't give your wife blood, she is going to die. And she's like, thankfully, the majority of Jehovah's Witnesses I encounter are willing to make that sacrifice in that moment. So like what you were just saying, like in the moment, I think everyone is like, yeah, that's fine. Who's going to find out? Like, think about it. Unless you tell on yourself, like who's really going to find? There's HIPAA laws in place. They can't tell. The doctor's not going to go out there and be like, okay, hospital liaison brothers, yes, they had to take blood today. Like, they're not going to do that. So
when my I was married for I was married for, I don't know, 2 weeks, and my wife broke her leg in multiple places, was in the hospital for a week, and she had to have a surgery, have a rod put in from her ankle to her knee. And I remember that moment all too well, when the doctor looks over at you and just hits you with the, really?
Are you sure?
You sure about?
Yeah.
Sure about that, dog? Like, you positive? And what amazed me was, without calling any elders, without telling anyone what happened, boom, within an hour, they were there at the hospital, like with their little briefcases and pamphlets about no blood. And I'm like, who? I don't even know who you guys are. I've never met you elders before. Can you just like give me 10 seconds to like breathe? I don't even know if we're at the right hospital. I don't know if we're going to, I'm freaking out. She doesn't have any insurance. Like, this is going to be, this is a hell. And I remember, like, they're going over everything, and they look at the no blood thing, and they just give you that look of, like, get the little flashlight out. Are you okay? Like, are you aware of what you're saying? You were going to just sit there and watch this person die.
Yeah.
And it's just panic. You're like, wait, would I let this person die? And in that moment, I was like, there's no way. Like, if push comes to shove, I ain't telling anybody. I'm just going to, I'm like, screw you guys. Of course I'm going to save a life. It's a life.
Yes.
How would the God of the universe be so concerned with a little blood?
Yep.
Makes absolutely no sense.
Well, and it's like, think about the fact too. First of all, I want to say, I agree, Ron Pomo. It is disgusting, that paperwork they give the pregnant woman. Like, immediately, it's like, you're pregnant. Here you go. Don't take blood.
Also,
it's
sorry,
okay
I forgot
if
to
you
text
die.
you back,
Fine.
man.
But what was I just saying? I got distracted.
I got distracted too.
Oh, okay. So do you remember how they always would talk about too, like, you take care of your car and you make sure you have good tires on it, because if you get in an accident, you're blood guilty. Or you have railing on your stairs coming into your home, because if a brother comes into your house and falls, you're blood guilty. So tell me why that stuff is so important. And like, you can be blood guilty, and a life is so important that you're literally maintaining your car according to them to be even driving in service. And yet they're like, oh, a medical emergency where there is something proven to help you. Yeah, no, we don't do that. You have to die for this one.
You'll get talked to by the elders for going skydiving. And yet a little child is sitting there, and you think, yeah, we're just going to let it go.
Yeah, it's okay. It's fine. They are little enemies of God, so who cares? It is what it is.
That guy, Stephen, I guess we don't get to see him as much anymore, because
he's kooky. Like, they're taking him away because his crazy guys are making their cult like even more culty. They gotta lock him up a little bit.
Yeah, I think it was pretty. Anyway, I'm of the opinion, I wish that Tony Morris was still there. I wish Stephen Lett. I want them on every broadcast. Like David Splane, get those guys out there, because when they're like saying their kooky stuff, it is the absolute best.
Yeah, it is.
Hi, everyone in chat. I'm not ignoring you, even though I am.
Tell them about your. Oh yeah. Oh, so I broke my. Speaking of your the surgery and stuff, I broke my ankle. We were kind of inactive at that point, but we weren't officially gone. Yeah, like we weren't going to meetings.
Sound like you were apologetic still. You're like, we're kind of inactive. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so I broke my ankle and I had to have surgery on it. And I remember, like, so I broke it. I ended up in the ER, and it's like you have to wait for the regular office visit. And we're in there, and he's like, yeah, you're gonna have to we're gonna have to have surgery, because it's like this isn't gonna heal naturally. And I was like, crap. And so we're going through all the paperwork and scheduling the surgery, and they had like this form, and he was like, so this is a blood form, like this just gives us permission to give blood if like something were to go wrong, because all surgeries obviously run risks. And I remember I like kind of looked at my husband, like panicked, like, wait, what? Like my initial thought was like, yeah, no, we don't do that. But then I remembered, I was like, no, I don't care about that. But it was the like, when I signed that, I literally felt like I was doing something so bad. Like I felt so like I was shaky. I was like, yeah, no, I'll take blood. I'm fine. I'm fine. And like it was the first time where I like officially signed something that was like, yeah, screw the no blood thing. Please do it. But it was the funniest thing. Like I had this reaction, and my husband was like, because I think I even asked him, Lance, you can say in the chat, but I think I was like, I want to take blood, right? Like,
You're like,
I just had this moment of like, I don't know what I'm doing.
It is like an out-of-body experience. Like, okay, I'm making a decision for myself. What is this?
Yes.
I've never done this
After
before.
35 years, you mean I can sign something that says, yes, I will take blood? Like, it was the weirdest feeling.
You are a legal adult at that point, for sure.
I know. I didn't feel like it.
Well,
Still don't.
None of us do. Well, let's get into the old time capsule. Let's jump back in time to since we're talking about Lance and you're here. Let's talk about you experiencing a run-in with some elders for some naughty behavior, getting into some trouble, because there's nothing more interesting. I mean, there's obviously things more interesting, but I find it so fascinating people's perspective on what they went through in dealing with elders. Because, like, I know my run-ins with elders, and it was just half of it was like, I felt so bad and felt sorry, and the other half was like, you guys need to just go and suck a dick. So anyway, your experience with oh wait, I gotta get ready for full cam for you. And as you're gonna start, I can still hear you, but I'm going to go and pee, because it is the time in the show after 45 minutes. I usually have to do that. So I'm going to switch cams and I'm going to mute my mic, and the show is yours.
Okay. Yes, Lance, you do have a lot more experience than I do. So I was baptized at 13, and I was like, I'm going to be the best JW ever. I'm not going to mess up. My sister was like rebellious. She got disfellowshipped at 18. And then it was just like, this is stupid, whatever. So the first official judicial committee I had was thanks to my husband, Lance. Shout out to you in the chat over there. This is a story and a half. So we met at a convention, and like most repressed teenagers, well, he wasn't a teenager, he was a little older than me, but I was house sitting. I was house sitting for some friends, and I was inviting him and his friend over, and they were bringing alcohol, and we were drinking and hanging out, and stupidly posting. He passed out like one night, and I posted on his MySpace for all those old people or older people in the chat. MySpace was the jam at the time. And I posted on it something like, I can't believe you snore when you're sleeping. And I didn't realize that MySpace was like visible to everyone, I guess because I was stupid and a teenager. And my mom saw it and literally printed out my page. And I was at work. I came home from work, and she was literally like sitting at the table. As a JW child, you know, when your parent is sitting down, it is serious and it's not good. And we need to talk. So yeah, we got in trouble for that. We got reported to the elders, for not only underage drinking, but kissing and heavy petting, as they like to call it. MySpace ruined my life. It really did. And it was the most uncomfortable thing. Like, I hate to say this, but I'm a very emotional person. So like when I'm confronted, I panic and I just bawl. So every elders meeting I have ever been in, I just cry. I have no way to not cry. It's just who I am. Even to this day, like, I'm a crier. I watch a Hallmark commercial and I cry. So I feel like that kind of helped, because I think they take pity on you when you're just like, oh. Yeah. We don't know how Lance did, because Lance was reproved at the time. If I remember right, he had gotten in trouble for something else previously. He was reproved, got in trouble again. He did not get disfellowshipped for some reason. But yeah, that's my first one. Boys. Yeah, yeah. I mean, what JW girl doesn't? It's like, it's just what you do. Yeah, he had really cool spiky hair, and I was just like, he's really cool. He likes the music I like.
MySpace and spiky hair. Holy crap.
We were all into like the emo music at the time. So yeah, that was my first one. And I just remember being like, this was the kicker. I had my best friend was also there with me. And like, she was drinking and making out with my husband's friend. And she's the one that tattled on everything. Because when my mom sat me down, I was like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Like, he was working in the area and was really tired. And I told him he could just come sleep in the guest room. Nothing happened. And she spilled everything to her parents. She's like, we were drinking. We were doing this. I'm like, you stupid girl. You told on everyone.
That's the word you wanted.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that was my first one. We had another one after we were married. So
well, can I just interject here real quick?
Yeah.
First off, you said heavy petting, and I was sitting on the toilet and I laughed heartily at heavy petting. What an expression that is. Did you ever think in your adult life you would say something like, we got in trouble for heavy petting? Was there a cat in the room? What the heck are you talking about? Straight
out of the Elders booklet.
Oh my God.
Oh
what
my
in
gosh.
the 1990s Jehovah's Witness lingo was that? No, I feel you though.
So I had another one when we were married. Well, we both did. So we like obviously still fooled around and, you know, we did what normal kids do and normal people do when you're engaged. It just happened.
Yeah.
And we didn't say anything. We hid it. We got married in the hall. Jehovah didn't strike us down. So I guess we were okay. But after we had been married for, I think it was like 2 years, we were like, there was stuff going on in our marriage, just like every normal young marriage. And we were like, Satan is attacking us. I think we needed like really confess everything, get it all out there and just start fresh. So we like confessed everything.
How long were you married for?
It was less than 2 years. It was like maybe a year and a half-ish. So yeah, that was, and this one angered me. So this was my first time experience. I know this is like very normal, but it took him 16 years to strike us down. Yes, you are correct. Yeah, so we went through the whole thing and the whole meeting and I was crying again. And then they like look at Lance, the 3 elders, and they're like, do you have anything else you want to discuss? And then they looked at me, they're like, we're going to ask you to step out so we can talk to your husband now about things he may want to confess. It's like, why am I not privy to any of that? It's like,
yeah,
looking back now, at the time, I didn't think anything. I was just like, okay, yes, of course. Yes, masters, whatever you say, my holy men that tell me what to do. It's so stupid.
It is so dumb. Yeah. The same thing happened. Like, I mean, not the same thing, but it was after I got married. One of the girls that we had like just kissed a couple of times, and she went and told the elders about it after I was already married. And so, of course, they have to come and track you down and talk to you about the whole situation. But they're like, well, do you want to, invite your wife to come and like be a part of it? And, she doesn't have to be or anything like that. And I just like asked, like, what if it was her? Like, would I have to be? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, huh. That's kind of weird. So I told her about it and everything. And she's like, no, I'm good. Just go and talk to him. But I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's so strange. But I think that was the only 2 times. I feel like that's the only 2 times I was ever with judicial committees.
So what was your experience as a young woman sitting there with elders with their little JCPenney suits and their notebooks?
Yeah. It was like horrific, but this is so crazy to say, but like, so my parents were in with me, which was good on that side of things, because I know that didn't always happen.
Yeah.
But I just remember being so terrified of my mom hearing everything that happened as I'm sitting there confessing stuff, because I knew she was going to literally make my life a living hell after that. And I was just like, that's so crazy. I was so much more afraid of my mom than the elders that I was talking to. Because I'm like, this is it. She's literally she's never going to speak to me again. Now she really isn't going to speak to me again.
You didn't press
but yeah,
the right
it was
buttons
very
that time.
intimidating. It was very intimidating, and it was really awkward. I can remember I was in a very small farm town, so our Kingdom Hall wasn't big. And I remember it was after like the midweek meeting, and they pulled me into a back room and then my friend into a back room with her parents. So it was literally like half the congregation was gone in a back room. It's like, oh great. So like everybody knows now. Everyone knows something is going on. That was rough. It was humiliating. It was horrible. But I'm like, at the same time, this is so funny to talk about now. I'm like, this is therapy. Thank you, Wally. How much do I owe you for this? No. Like
a like and subscribe.
I was like already living a pretty big double life, and I had been for like a couple years. And I remember thinking to myself, like sitting there in the meetings, like, do I confess to everything I've done in the last 2 years? Or am I like, okay, just confessing a little bit? And I didn't confess everything. And again, I was just like, I think I'm safe. I confessed enough that like I feel like Jehovah's gonna forgive me, so I'll be okay.
Wait, this is actually like you've just brought up a memory of actually having to do mental calculations of like, okay, I know this is confession, but it's not like confession.
Yeah,
but
you don't have to.
The whole reason people do it is because the whole religion, it trains you and teaches you to be performative. Like the actual things don't matter. It's what people know and how you present them, and can you cry? Can you put on the show? And if you can put on the show, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
But no, I specifically remember exactly what you're talking about. You're sitting there, being drilled. They're asking you all the questions in your logical brain. That the only reason they're asking you all those questions is they're trying to get some more dirt on you, get you to tell on yourself. And so you're thinking like, okay, how am I not going to tell on myself? Oh, God.
I feel like they always ended the elders meeting with like, is there anything else you need to confess at this point?
Yeah, that's part
and
of
in my head, I'm going like, yes, but I'm not telling you. That was 2 years ago. It's fine.
Well, there was Todd and there was Gary. There was that bottle of Hennessy.
I'm like, how much do you really need to know? You don't need to know all this. I'm not here on trial for those other things. I'll confess to what I did for this one, not everything else.
Exactly. So, that's funny that even as a young adult, young person, you were like initiated into the world of what it's like being a Jehovah's Witness, because that shit, it goes your whole life. It just becomes this whole game of who knows, how much do I have to tell.
Yep.
Ugh, absolutely.
It really doesn't ever end. Like as we got older and we're married, like heavy drinking is very common in the organization. And it's this thing where it's like, well, everybody else, including all the elders, were drunk, so I feel okay with it. It's fine. It is what it is. These mental gymnastics you're playing, it's just crazy.
So was that like a big? Let's talk about it. Was that a big deal? Because I know, like at Bethel, it's really, really brutal.
Well, it's funny because it wasn't like where I grew up. Drinking was like very, very minimal. Like my parents hardly drank. My dad grew up in the world, so he became a witness as like a 20-year-old. So he had his like teenage high school years of being like the crazy partier in like the tiny little farm town where they'd party on someone's farm every weekend. So he kind of, I think, got that out of his system, and like
I don't know why a bunch of Jehovah's Witnesses partying on a farm just makes me laugh.
But like once I got married, the culture in the area we moved to was like so different. Like I'm calling them out, but I don't really care. They shun me. My husband's family were huge drinkers. I mean, we always joke, like we'd get a call on Memorial Day, like, hey, it's 11 o'clock. We're smoking ribs. Why don't you come over? We're drinking Long Island's. And then that turns into like margaritas, and then that turns into wine, and it turns into this. And it's like, it was huge. And like, I'm not even joking. Like the amount of times I was so hungover after a night with my in-laws, and then Sunday I'm expected to go to a meeting. I'm like, absolutely not. No, I don't know how they do it. Like, I just don't know how they do it. But it was very common in this area. Like every party you went to, I mean, there would be like shots being taken, and it was just insane. So
it's the only thing you can do. Like it's the one thing that, okay, I can't get in horrible trouble because it is so ubiquitous. I think most people don't even really worry about it that much.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, where I'm from here in like the Seattle area, that is like absolutely the culture here. Every single witness party.
It's funny too, because like I was just thinking, this just came to my brain. So we live like 5 miles from the assembly hall, and when that was being built, my in-laws were people that would host a lot of the like higher ups that were coming in from like Bethel to like do their work or whatever.
Oh yeah,
And
like speakers and stuff like that.
Yeah, my husband was always like, that is the most drinking he has ever seen, is from these men that were like, they'd come into the home, take off their ties or whatever, and be like, pour me a scotch and I'll have a beer with it. And like, it was just amazing to watch them drink. It was like, okay, like this is insane.
So at one of the halls I went to, there was this like ritual that would happen every year, and everyone knew about it and didn't really talk about it, but people would go out after their elders meeting and they would get pretty hammered, and it was like a rite of passage almost to go out with all the elders and get shit-faced at this Mexican restaurant. And the coordinator of Body of Elders, God, this guy super sucks. Man, he made my life a living hell. I feel like I should just name and shame him, post his address, go through eggs at this guy's house. This guy sucks. Anyway, but he had a drink named after him at the restaurant even. So you could go in and ask for a senior, this guy's name, and everyone was like, oh, okay. And it was just like, grab all bottles of liquor and pour them in.
Just dump them in.
Just dump them in. Just give me the whole bottle, essentially. But no, yeah, it was just like a thing of culture. I remember visiting my brother at Bethel, and we were sitting in his room playing Smash Brothers, and some dude just like walks in and just is completely plastered. And my brother's like, oh no, don't worry about it. It happens all the time. I'll go take him to his room. And it's just pretty normal thing. That's just a regular old Tuesday for them. So
yeah, I feel like it's very well. It's the only, like you said, it's the only thing they can do, and I think in their minds, which again, it's like there's literal scriptures that say drunkenness is wrong, drunkards will not inherit God's kingdom. So you're willing to look past that, but nothing else. I think as long as you do it, but you're still showing your face in service and at every meeting, it's fine. It's all good. You've been forgiven. You can go hungover. You're good. You're fine.
I feel like you get selectively blasted for it, because I was one that just got selectively blasted for drinking, and that was the reason I got reproved. It was there was a lot of lore to that whole story. It wasn't about the actual act itself. It was because, anyway, I don't want to go down a freaking rabbit hole. We'll completely get lost in the sauce there. Anyway, we have spent all of this time talking about life as Jehovah's Witnesses, but upon exiting the organization, there are strings that have to be cut. There are ties that are broken. Were there a lot of ties for you broken, or
yes.
And did you have people that you knew on the outside that you could kind of buddy system with?
Yeah. So let's see. I had some like worldly family from my dad's side, so I had them, but because I was raised by such a strict mom, it was very much like I didn't have much of a relationship with them. They have been very kind and supportive and everything, but for the most part, we had no one. Like, we lost everyone, family, parents, cousins. Both of us come from really big families. Like, I literally have like 6 aunts and uncles, and they all have a million kids on my mom's side. My husband has like 5 aunts and uncles and like, or 4, I don't even know. I'm just saying that 3 or 4. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We had a lot of family. I'll just say that.
Condoms shortage, or what the hell's going on with the situation?
Yeah, I guess so. We had huge families that we thought were all like very close. And so we knew that was going to be a risk we were running when we disassociated, but we also knew like we wanted them to decide to be in our lives because they wanted to, which we knew was probably never going to happen anyways. So yeah, we lost everyone. But I did do like, I had one aunt that I've gotten really close to, who she actually like disassociated in the 70s, I think. Okay. I was always told that she was literally like the most evil person. And like when I reached out to her, letting her know our story, she like swooped in and was like sending my kids holiday gifts and birthday gifts and came to a birthday party. And like, she's just amazing. And I found like a mom's group locally to make friends, because I'm like, I have no friends. I didn't really have friends in the organization, really. I was very much like, I kept to myself.
I don't think anyone has real friends, I was like, honestly.
No, yeah, absolutely not. So we didn't have a whole lot, but we knew it was going to take time to rebuild, and that's what we've been focusing on. I have made more friends than my husband. He's kind of
wow, damn! Just I saw a bus coming. I'm gonna kick this guy out in the middle of the street. Holy, Lance just catching strays out here.
But he's like, I think it's more so he's he's never been a friends person either. Like neither of us,
Yeah.
I think as a Jehovah's Witness, you're not really somebody who wants or needs a ton of friends.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just like, or maybe there's just us, but I think just in general, because you don't have real friends in it, you just kind of learn to be self-sufficient in like your own little community within your house or whatever it may be. So
Yeah, that makes sense. So when it came to your family members, everyone has like a different way that they approach that whole situation. Did you write a manifesto, get a loudspeaker, and stand on top of your Toyota Camry? Oh wait, your mom, your Toyota Sienna.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
was
So
your,
I actually wrote a letter to my parents and my sister. I didn't go into a lot of detail of like my findings because I didn't want to come off again as that like, I'm a crazy apostate. Here's all these things that's wrong with your organization. I just like was very heartfelt and like explained that I didn't want to raise my kids in this. I have discovered things that made me very uncomfortable, that this has proven to me in my research that this is not the one true religion, and basically just expressed how I love them. I always will love them. I don't fault them for raising me in this. And I just hope we can be in each other's lives. And that backfired. Nothing. My sister read it and blocked me. I haven't spoken to her in 2 years, and my mom and dad called me, and my mom was very evil on the phone.
You said your sister blocked you. Like, did she
like
talk to you at all, or
no? Not even a conversation. I saw her open it up, like because I sent it in like a PDF on her phone, so I sent it through text. So I saw her read it. The read thing was on. And it was like, next thing I know, because we were like on Find My Friends, like all of us together. Next thing I know, I see her remove me. And then
is this within the same day?
This is it within, I'm not even joking, like 10 minutes. And then I go to like I go to my social media and I'm blocked across everything. She blocked me on Instagram and Facebook, like everything. And I think no, I don't think my phone number was blocked. I think it was blocked later because I did at one point, like a few months later, send her a text message that was like, you have been disfellowshipped. You have been shunned. You know what this feels like. And you didn't even give me the decency of a conversation. And then there was no response.
She was someone that was disfellowshipped before as well?
Yep.
What in tarnation is wrong with this woman?
I know. She was disfellowshipped for 1.5 years when she was 18. So she's just... Her and my mom are like the two same type people. They're very narcissistic people. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. So yeah, my husband, I don't think he did anything like that. He's not a big talker. So he was just like, yeah, we're leaving. And I think they tried to have a conversation. They wanted him to come over to their house to talk. And he's like, no, I'm good. Anything I tell you anything I say to you is not going to be upbuilding for you. So I'm not going to do it. Like, he was like, we can still try and be in each other's lives, but yeah.
I'm going to have to keep that one for part 2 of my Jehovah's Witness phrases. Upbuilding.
Yeah, upbuilding.
Upbuilding. Never hear anyone say upbuilding. That's hilarious.
So yeah, it was pretty rough. And he just said, I just called them. So he called them and talked to them on the phone. I had a heartfelt letter sent to them, and then a like 30-minute cry fest on the phone with my mom telling me I was ruining my children's lives and our lives were going to fall apart and everything that horrible would happen to us. I was like, okay.
And that was just like, so you write this letter, you send it to them, you let them know, like they already at some point know, like you were kind of like fading or pulling away.
So this all was kind of prompted on, okay, we knew we were going to disassociate. We were just trying to like figure out timing because it was such a big decision. It was like, do we want to wait until after a parent's anniversary date? Like, do we want to still go there, like be there for that? Or like, what are we doing? Yeah. And it was right after I broke my ankle. So my parents were visiting a lot to help me with the kids. Mm-hmm. And they were down for a visit. And my mom was asking me which convention we were going to that summer, because like, we obviously weren't going to mine because my surgery was like the week before. And I was like, I just kind of was like trying to dodge the question. And she was like, well, why don't you come to ours? Ours is like the last one in August. And I was like, no, I don't think we're going to do that. And she like, I don't know what it was. I don't know if there was a conversation that was had with my husband's parents and mine, because they were in our Kingdom Hall and knew we were like not going at all and not reporting time, which is a possibility, I guess. Mm-hmm. But my mom literally just went from like asking about convention to going like, do you not believe this is the truth anymore? Like she literally just outright asked me that. And I was like,
Damn.
yeah, no, I don't. I don't believe this anymore. I don't think it's the truth.
Swinging.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So she had
And
been concerned for a while, and it hit a point
she
where
must
then
have
she
been.
just like went, okay, I have to ask.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's how the conversation ended. And they left my house like 15 minutes later because I think they were just like, my parents thought, you know, the thought like, oh, Satan isn't here now. Satan's here. My dad did try to read me a couple scriptures about going to the elders, you know, when you're feeling spiritually sick or whatever it is. And I was like, I appreciate you trying to encourage us. I don't need encouragement. I'm very convicted in my beliefs and my thoughts. And
Convicted?
I
think you meant convinced. I was just being a shithead.
Yeah. So there, I like that happened, and then we kind of had a conversation that was like, okay, so I think this just moved up our timeline for disassociating. Like now it's going to just turn into them like constantly shoving the truth down our throat and trying to get us to go back and try to convince us. And we're like, it's not worth it. So we disassociated. We wrote letters like a couple days later and then wrote our disassociating letter like the next week. And we were like, okay, bye.
It's just like I understand where some people are coming from. And I don't know, like everyone's family dynamic is always a little bit different. But holy moly, like I just couldn't even deal with that infantilizing, sneering, backhanded, always trying to get you to come back. Well, this broadcast was so wonderful, this blah blah blah, and I'm like, I couldn't
It's horrible.
deal with that.
My husband's family was that way, so we were still kind of seeing them occasionally because they lived near us and they wanted to see the kids, so we'd have family dinners and stuff when we were in the like inactive stage. And I'm not even joking, it was every single time the prayer before meal would turn into this like, we thank you so much for this brotherhood and this family that we can only have in your beautiful it was like so over the top. It was so like cringy, and they were constantly talking about like, you know, have you seen that wonderful broadcast or this wonderful amazing talk? And it was like we'd been around them enough to know like they don't talk like this normally, so like it was very directed at us. The we miss yous, you're right, Lance. Like, oh my gosh, every text messages,
I'm here, I'm still here
so much. Yeah, after like every meeting I'd get a text message, we miss you, are you okay? At one point my mother-in-law even was like, I can come and pick up the babies and take them with me to the meeting. I was like, absolutely not. No, that's not happening.
Just tell her, come on over, and then just never answer the door.
Yeah.
Have her sitting out there waiting. What the heck are you talking about, woman?
Yeah. So that was another reason that really pushed us to disassociate. We didn't want to give them any false hope that we were like just spiritually weak and like needed encouragement. We wanted them to know like, we're done. We are so done. We want nothing to do with this. We still love you. We just don't want this organization. But they can't decipher the difference. It's like you turn your back on the organization. That means you've turned your back on God and you've turned your back on your family. So,
and
it's just
has there been any communication of any kind at all, or just radio silence?
Pretty much right. So we did try to meet up with them a couple times, like so they could see the kids. We laid out very strict guidelines. I was going to be there. You weren't going to shun me in front of my kids because it's abuse. My kids are not going to see abuse as being normal. And they couldn't abide by that. So we're like, we're not doing this anymore. And since that has happened, since that has happened, I have only heard from my dad, I think like 2 or 3 times. He has these moments, I think, of either him being a little lucid and realizes like, oh, the shunning is wrong. And he'll reach out and let me know he misses me, loves me. But it always then shifts to, I don't know why you turned your back on Jehovah. And I'll be like, I didn't. I just don't trust these men running this organization. And then always like, we want you to come back. And I go, I'm never coming back. I know that's hard to hear, but I'm here as your daughter and I will always be here as your daughter, but I'm not going to be a part of that organization. So,
So where did that leave you then on the spiritual spectrum? Ooh, that's a t-shirt waiting to happen. Like a lot of people are like, the Bible, just start farting on it. Like
I have been through a journey and I am still on a journey. When we first left, I was very agnostic. I was very much like, I don't need to know God. I think there is a God. There is a higher power of something. I don't need to know it. I don't want any part of it. As I have healed, and I really am like into Earth's energies and that kind of stuff. Like I totally believe in all of that. Like I think it just makes sense that you would have energy pools and whatnot in the world and on Earth. Recently, I've kind of
like
dived
the Swan
a little
Station
bit.
and Lost.
Yes. I have dived a little bit again back into, I'm never going to be a churchgoer. I'm never going to be a part of a denomination, but I do believe in God. I'm trying to find like a way to have a relationship with God in the most genuine way for myself. And I think that's just going to look different for everyone. Like for myself, I'm kind of looking at the Bible. I don't necessarily believe that the Bible is God's inspired word. I do think maybe it has taught us about him in ways. I don't know. I'm on a journey. I'm literally all over the place all the time. I'm just figuring it out, but I do believe in God, and I'm trying to like find a relationship with whoever that God is.
I feel like,
and that's where I am.
If you have a disposition to being a more spiritual person, it's like even more difficult being a witness, because the version of God that they present you with is such an unlikable douchebag. And they hyperfixate on the Old Testament, and it's all about the wars and killing Amalekites and doing the miracles for some people, but then starving other people
and killing thousands of people.
And you're just like, this guy's kind of like a not my kind of guy. And because they focus on that so much, and they almost replace Jesus, I'm still on this kick. Replace Jesus with the governing body. Once you stop believing in the governing body, you kind of takes away that New Testament stuff that's a little bit better, and it leaves you with just a pile full of soggy beans, and you're like, I don't know what to do with any of this. So, No,
I fully believe. Someone just said in the comments that if you believe in God and love God, you don't need man-made religion to worship him. I totally believe that. I don't think if you want to have a relationship with God, and that can be any God you want it to be, honestly. Like, I think it's just connecting with whatever the higher power is. You don't have to go to a building for that, and you don't have to have other men interpret that relationship for you. So I think that's kind of where I land now. I like to believe that there is some evil in God so that he could punish the governing body at some point in life.
Just your pettiness is like, I mean, I don't like the idea of hell, but like a little bit of hell for very specific people.
Just
Becky, for tattletaling on me.
Just for some. I would love for them to like be there and like have something replayed in their head of doing these horrible things. So like, especially the governing body, like they deserve it. So that's where I land.
Selective hell. I'm down for that. I'm not like super into like earth energy or any of that stuff, but do you find like with exploring your spirituality, does it feel like you're taking some power back instead of having it prescribed to you? It's, as you said a couple times, it's a journey, and like when you're a witness, 100%. It ain't no journey. You are told what to do, you're told where to be, you're told what is right and wrong, blah 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 blah. But
no, absolutely,
has there been some value for you?
I feel like it's been empowering almost, because you, again, as a Jehovah's Witness, especially when you're born in it, it's just shoved down your throat from a 2-year-old on, and it's like, this is the God, this is God, this is God, this is how you worship him, this is how you do it. Getting to like find your own path, and it's like I went out and bought, and this is funny, like I'm very into like following where you feel like your body is telling you to go. So like one day I just had this weird feeling, I'm like, I'm gonna just go buy some Bibles. I went to Barnes and Nobles, and I bought like 3 different types of Bibles, and I'm just like going through them and comparing them with New World Translation and just like figuring stuff out on my own. And it feels very good to like just have my own way of like looking at it and figuring it out myself. And it's like, I feel like even me and my husband, it's like we agree on some stuff, we don't agree on some stuff. I think it's just so wonderful that we get to like decide for ourselves how we want to proceed with a relationship with God, or if we even want to. Like, again, it's everybody gets to choose that. And if they want to be atheist, that's amazing. Everyone gets to choose. I love that so much. It's like, I don't care what you decide to believe when you leave. I think it's great that we finally get a chance to do it ourselves,
and we can talk about
that choice ourselves.
And
Yes.
there's no consequences. It's not like, well, I can't have this opinion, and then boom, I'm gonna be on the chopping block, and everyone's going to try and vote me off the island.
Yeah.
I agree, man. What is with me and TV references like the last 10 minutes? I gotta lock it in. So, just speaking to that, because that's another thing that it was in my mental notes. Because you were born into it from such a young age, and then I think a lot of people, especially of our generation, are leaving in their 30s, and you're like, okay, I can make choices now, but how do I do that? What has been your experience with finally taking the power back and being able to make life choices?
It feels really good. And I will say, as a woman, especially because in that organization, you were so and I was very you can ask my husband this. I was very mild and meek. I feel like I still am for the most part. I was somebody who was very respectful of everyone and everyone's, their thoughts. And I never created issues. I was always I went along with everything. And when we left, I think one of the biggest things for me was as stupid as it may seem, when I got onto social media, starting with TikTok, now YouTube, and getting to just speak out in the way I want to has been very empowering. It's yeah, I can have a voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it feels good. No, it's not wrong. This is great. And even just little things I've always loved tattoos and getting to go get a tattoo because I want to. That was awesome. I get to make choices for myself. I can do what I want. And I'm hoping to raise my kids to learn that, you get to, you do what you want to do. You are, if you're convicted in something, or if you really, really love to be passionate about this or that, or whatever it may be, you can do that and you're going to have support no matter what. You don't have to fit into a box, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
In the JW world, you fit into this box, and if you don't, then you're an outsider and you're a horrible person. That's not the real world. Do what you want to do. Be a good person. Be kind to people. Be respectful. But you can be different from others around you, and that's okay.
Hold on 1 second. Sorry, someone made a comment that was sarcastic. This is a great interview, but there's commercials, and I'm I usually don't have commercials on during the interview. But whoops. Maybe YouTube did that. Okay, my bad. Sorry, guys. Sorry to anyone that got ads. If you got ads, then that's exactly what you deserved. No, I'm just kidding. My bad. I didn't know that was turned on. I turned it off, though, so no one should be getting ads or anything. So, yeah, finding your voice is especially as a woman, because, if you're a guy, there's always this upward trajectory that you can kind of have, and you get little measures of being able to tell people what to do. But as a woman especially, I just feel you're just kind of silent standing in a corner. Is social media for you? Damn, Wally, you've been sassy? Yeah, I don't know why I'm so sassy today. I gotta be honest with you. I need to relax.
I'm laughing over here because my husband says I beat him, and someone said, that's cool. And then says, no, not that. The tattoos are cool. That's funny. I don't beat my husband.
That's exactly what someone that beats their husband would say.
I don't, Lance.
Doth protest too much. No, anyway, but what has the social media really done for you? Because even witnesses aren't allowed to have. I don't know if you watched the latest convention videos.
Oh yeah.
With the.
I actually watched your video, so thank you for that. Okay. It was very informative.
But they're no, you can't share and find connection with anyone.
Yep.
So what has that been like for you?
It's been really kind of awesome. I didn't go into it with many expectations. I was just kind of I'm going to just share my story and see where it goes. And, having people reach out to me and message me and share their stories with me. I'm realizing that there's so many people who are in a position that they can't speak out, or, they're kind of afraid to, because maybe they still have some semblance of relationships with family or whatever it may be. It's given me even more motivation to keep sharing and posting and doing stuff, because it's there's so many out there who've contacted me and they're I love what you're doing. I wish I could do it, but I can't, or whatever it may be. So it's been really good. Also, yeah, in the JW world, if you share too much on your social media, you are looked at as being attention seeking or whatever it may be. So it's kind of nice to just be like, I get to make that decision for myself instead of having like a congregation of 130 something people like judging every step of the way. They probably still are, but I don't care. Like, I do have some JW stalkers that I know are watching my page, and I'm okay with that. It's like, hi.
Yeah, that's pretty
nice
cool.
to see you.
That's pretty cool. I'm trying to be mindful of time. How long can you do this for?
I mean, my kids aren't screaming. Lance, you can comment down there how the kids are doing.
Okay, easy peasy.
So far, they're good.
Lance,
so far, they're good.
You are in control of how long the stream goes.
Yeah, send like a...
Well, I want to ask you a question, or a couple questions that I have tried to ask to everyone, and then I want to do a new segment because we always switch right into after hours. But before we go to after hours, I was going to have you and me talking to chat for a little while. So people could, if they have any questions that they could ask you, you could see it. So anyway, but before we get into that, I know I'm trying to grow, guys. Imagine that. Evolution, evolving, becoming a better version of yourself each and every day. It's a crazy concept. But first off, you have seen the ex-Jehovah's Witness community in action. You've been a part of it. You're adding your voice to that. You're probably familiar with what is being said and all that good stuff. Is there anything that you feel like isn't talked about enough that you think should be talked about more and that maybe you plan on talking about on your channel? This is such a softball, like, for you trying to toss you.
I don't know. I'm like trying to think if there's anything. I don't necessarily think there's things that aren't talked about enough. I do think one thing I'm very passionate about, and I know not everyone in the XJW world agrees with this, but it's something that I have talked about on my page and I will continue to talk about. But like the disassociating versus fading, and that like you have some who are so like, don't ever disassociate. You're playing by their rules, like that kind of mentality. Whereas I'm like much more on the side where I felt disassociating was very empowering. I think even Bethany on Stop the Shunning has talked about that with herself. Like,
I swear,
it was
I
super
thought maybe
empowering.
we were going to make it through a stream without Bethany's name coming up every single time. I'm going to try and get her on the show. I promise, guys. I promise.
But yeah, like, I don't know. It was very empowering. And I kind of just wish, like, in general, the community would be just more like supportive about whichever way you go. Because like on Reddit especially, I'll see people being like, you know, how do I disassociate, or should I disassociate? And you tend to have a lot more on the side of like, don't play by the rules, don't do this. But it's kind of like, if somebody wants to do that, don't discourage it. Don't make it out to be like some terrible thing to do. That's kind of my only like little input, I guess, with the XJW world. For the most part, everyone is very supportive, and I think they cover everything really well. My channel's never going to be a great like news one, like your channel, for instance. Like, I ramble a lot in my videos. I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to reel that in.
You must not have seen any of my old stuff, because holy moly. I mean, I'm a rambler. I think I'll always point to this. I think I made a 30-minute video about clapping one time. I get down in the nitty-gritty. But in my older videos, I'm like, wow, that is something special. So then I like that. That is something that I strongly back, because man, oh man, if you say I'm going to disassociate, you just get hit with a million spitballs. And it's just like from right and left, like, ah, you're like, whoa, without any dialogue, without anyone just asking, why do you feel like you need to disassociate? It's just immediate, like, let's dogpile because you're a stupid person. So I think that's something that isn't talked about. That would be good for people to be like, no, it's here's a different side of that. Here's a different option. And everyone has options, and you can pick, you know, whatever door works for you.
You can choose whatever works best for your situation.
Do you have a hot take about the organization? Something that's conspiratorial, the old tinfoil hat? Do you have something that's just kind of crazy that you have no proof for, but you believe it? Anything weird? Or is there one that
I don't
you really
think
like?
I do. I mean, honestly, the biggest thing that I have been really leaning into is the fact that, like, I 100%, like your video you did today, I 100% have been feeling that and seeing that. They're trying to replace Jesus, and they're trying to make them level with him. I feel like that's why they don't take the, they don't do like the emblems at the memorial, because it would like put too much emphasis on Jesus. It's like they have done everything to like push him down. I hope Jesus is out there and he will send them to hell. That's what my hope is. That's my
hot take. Hell is real, governing body exclusive. Elders and governing body, they are the only ones that are in hell, and they just get to sit there by themselves.
We'll get to wave at them.
In the naughty corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I respect that. I respect that. Well, thank you for those insights, chat. We are not going to After Hours with Wally at the 1 hour and 30-minute mark, but we are going to transition. And remember, we worked on these last week, but I don't think I actually changed it for this one, so we'll see what it looks like. Oh, it did. Whoosh. Fancy. Now, the only thing is, it looks like I'm looking at chat, but... Yeah, no, it looks like you're looking at chat. Okay.
Yeah, I got
So this is the segment where you guys get to ask questions of my wonderful, smart, intelligent guest.
Oh, sorry. I just got a text message. We're losing my son. He's getting grumpy on me.
Oh, okay.
But that's okay.
He's getting a little grumpy.
Well, we could switch if you want to talk. If you want to talk to Lance at all, he could answer questions too, because he can swap out with me.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, we could do Lance Cam if we wanted. Maybe we would get into the weeds, but we can do Lance Cam another time. Lance is more than welcome to join. So, guys, if you have any questions or anything, now is your opportunity to ask. Already got your question answered. Well, that's because you're a real one. Just started not going to meetings. Didn't drive. Was easy. Oh, yeah, that's actually pretty clutch. Do you think the memorial is a sin? I have no idea what that is supposed to mean. Do you think the memorial is a sin?
Maybe because they don't do the emblems. Possibly. Is that where you're coming from?
Could be. Anyway, see, I'm already immediately talking too much. It's also been another 45 minutes, and if anyone knows anything about my bladder, that means I have to pee again. So I'm going to let you talk to chat, and then I'll be back. Okay. Okay. You got this.
The pressure is on.
No pressure. No pressure. Good vibes.
Okay. How are you feeling now spiritually? I talked about a little bit earlier, but I'm on a journey with that. And I do believe in a higher power and a God. I'm just trying to figure out what my relationship with him is going to be. And I don't think I'll ever be a part of a church again. I know that for sure, because it gives me anxiety thinking about going into a church. But I still have a very strong spiritual pull, and I'm going with it. What's helping you get through leaving? Therapy. Therapy has been a lifesaver for leaving. It has been traumatic, to say the least. And therapy and surrounding myself with people who are loving and supporting, even if they don't fully grasp the situation. That's been super helpful. And talking about it. The more I talk about it, the better I feel. But it's not easy. I still have very bad days when it comes to it all. But for the most part, it's getting better. Let's see what else. Did it take a while to drop the guilt and shame? Surprisingly, no. I don't feel like, I think that was kind of easier to let go of when I kind of deconstructed and realized everything I'd been taught and all these arbitrary rules by the governing body were not biblical or made no sense. I didn't really have a whole lot of guilt or shame. I think I felt more anger and sadness than anything if I were feeling anything. So, do I ever unwitness? Not really. Well, I mean, I've told all my group of friends, everything about Jehovah's Witnesses. They follow all my social media, so they know how crazy Jehovah's Witnesses are. I had one of my really close friends have witnesses come to her door, and she was like, I want to say something to them. They're at my door now. And I was like, you can if you want. I think she said something like, I would never join your church because you shun too much. But yeah, that's probably the most I do. And my social media speaks out a lot. So let's see. Do your kids like celebrating holidays? And oh yeah.
You're good at this.
My daughter.
This is easy. You're just oh my man, I can go make a sandwich. What the heck? I'm about to go get a bag of protein shake.
Obsessive with holidays and birthdays. The very first thing we did, we left in July of 2023, and I went and bought a Christmas tree a week later off of Marketplace, And we just started buying Christmas stuff every time we saw it pop up in Marketplace or at like garage sales. And they are obsessed. Like,
how often you talk about Marketplace? I bet you're like, man, this chair's from Marketplace. These earbuds are from Marketplace.
I buy a lot on there. I'm a little obsessed with it. So
I think we need a sponsor. Like, what the heck?
Yeah. Hey, Facebook Marketplace, can you do something for me? Let's see. Where did I stop off?
I don't know.
Oh, do you feel a pull towards non-religion groups, like hobby groups? Yeah. So I have a mom's group that I'm a part of. It's called Mom's Club. And that has been something I love. We do like play dates and mom's night outs. And like, we have all these types of events every week planned. And that has been really awesome. And I'm really enjoying that because it's like nothing I've ever experienced, getting to like actually make mom friends and women that are like just good people. And we may not have everything in common, but it's just great. I haven't really done any other like hobby clubs or anything like that, but that's been like the most thing I've had to pull towards. As my kids get older, maybe more things, but I'm still trying to just parent them.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chad, I'm taking over hostile. I have a microphone. You haha, suck it. This is just like random and weird, but do you have time now to explore a hobby? Like what did you find? I mean, obviously being a mom, but when you leave the witnesses, you just have so much more time on your hands now. Is there something that you were able to like do for yourself or that you really enjoyed?
Books. So I've always liked to read, but I always felt guilty reading in the organization because it was like I should be spending this time doing Bible reading or reading a Watchtower or something. So I dived really heavy into books, and now I read like a book a week pretty much, and I'm getting to read everything I want guilt-free, whether it has like magic in it or whatever that matters. That's been my thing. I love reading. So other than that, I don't really have time for anything else.
Where I walked around with a stopwatch because I was so committed to the life of the mind that I said for 5 years, I'm going to read for 10 hours every single day. And I would walk around all the time with a book and a stopwatch. And I would click the stopwatch on while I was reading if I have to get up, and I would click it off for 10 hours every day. Because I think the life of the mind is very serious. So, maybe not everyone's as crazy intense as I am. I'm a pretty intense guy. What can I say?
I don't think I could do that for that much, but I do my best. I do my best.
How you do anything is how you do everything, baby.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I lost my spot.
How old were you when you were baptized, and how old were you when you left?
I was 13 when I was baptized, and I was 35 when I left. There we go.
Easy.
Easy peasy.
That's what we like.
Oh, ice cream calmed them down. That's good. Feed the kids sugar. That keeps them happy. I'm so sorry, guys. I like lost my spot, and I don't know where I was.
Have you ever been able to? Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I think I already did that one. Sorry. Go ahead. Did you find one?
Have you ever been able to talk to your family/friends candidly? I think like conversation like waking them up or something.
No, unfortunately not. The closest I've gotten was telling my dad that I didn't turn my back on Jehovah. I turned my back on an organization full of false prophets. And he was like, maybe we can discuss that more at another time. I was like, that's fine. Let's do it. But then I haven't heard anything back. I might have scared him away. Any chance of a relationship or a talk there obviously did not pan out with that one. So there you go.
This is a good one from Sam.
Okay. It's been very hard for me celebrating holidays, but for birthdays. Okay, we celebrate another year in the chair. Okay, so you're having a spiritual conflict with the holidays. I kind of get that. Especially because it's drilled in your brain so much that like holidays are pagan origin. And my big thing, and my husband actually kind of was the first one to say this. My image is flipped. What does that mean?
It's getting wonky. Don't worry about it. Ignore it. We'll ban him.
I view up my intention. What is my intention behind celebrating this holiday? So like Halloween, I know is a big one. When we first left, I'm like, I don't think I could do Halloween. And then my daughter wanted to be a unicorn. And I was like, okay, fine. Like, yeah, let's go trick-or-treating. And it's like, my intention with this is just to give my kids memories and to have fun. And like, I don't look at the origins because again, you can look at origins of everything. Like a wreath on your front door has pagan origins. A wedding ring has pagan origins. So I'm just trying to like almost erase that thought from my brain and just enjoy it for the memories, if that makes sense, and go in it with it like good intentions. Just have fun. But I know it's hard for a lot of people to let go of.
That is an interesting one, though, right? Because you're taught to be guilty about almost everything, and I think it translates to stuff beyond just, you know, holidays or things that they told you were wrong. You just feel guilty, like you said, even reading a book. Just taking time to read a book gave you guilt. Like, what a wacky world to grow up in.
It's crazy. It's going to be, I think it's just a process when you leave, rewiring your brain of all these things.
And I think that's really good advice of just look at the reason why you're doing it. I'm reading because it feeds my mind, it fuels my body, it puts some gas in my tank. Easy. You know, I'm doing the holidays not because I left the one true religion and now I want to worship Satan. No, my daughter wants to be a freaking unicorn, and that's cool. Like,
and she loves candy. Okay, I can't say
let's
that's
go
a bad
unicorn
thing.
style now.
Yeah. It is hard. I've had a lot of people say that they just can't get into them, and I get it. I think it helps having kids because it's just like, heck yeah, let's do everything. Let's have big batches and do it all the way.
For sure.
So
Reasonable to conclude. This is a good question. Hey, Reasonable. In retrospect, is there anything you will have approached differently in the way you chose to leave the cult?
No, shockingly.
Wow, you're just the best. Okay, fine.
I think the only thing I might have done was like maybe be more upfront with my parents earlier on, instead of like, I kind of do feel like I threw everything on them like very spur of the moment, since they probably weren't really aware of our being inactive. But I wouldn't have handled it any differently. I would have still disassociated. I still would have tried to have a relationship with our parents for our kids' sake. You know, I feel very confident in like the way we exited. But yeah, no, I don't think I have any regrets other than maybe not throwing it on my parents really like spur of the moment like I did. But
and if people want a fuller picture of how you went about leaving, where could they find such information?
You can find that on my YouTube channel. I have like an hour-long video explaining from like start to finish my whole story of leaving, and there's a lot of emotion in that video. I will say that was a very, very emotional video to make. I cry a lot, but it was an emotional thing. So
you held yourself together and you made your points very clear and well. So yeah, I thought it was like a 10 out of 10, honestly.
Thank you.
It was really good. I was like, damn, this is like the perfect little exit story video. Like, it just kind of has everything in there. It's a nice and tidy and neat little box. Yeah,
I appreciate that. Yeah, in the moment I was like, something. I'm a blubbering mess.
Yeah. Yeah, so, better than my exit story video. I think I just drank a lot and started rambling.
Yeah, mine was like a random Sunday. I'm like, I'm going to go record my story on this. And my husband's like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah, I feel like it's time. Let's just do this thing. Let's sit down and do it. So, yeah.
Alyssa, how do you keep Lance from spending all his money and time on new violent video games?
I don't. He sells them. So there you go. He doesn't play video games. He's tried to play like every night, like a video game, because that's what he does for a living, is sell them. And he does it for like a night, and he's like, I just can't. I think he has ADHD.
He sells
or
video
something.
Games?
Yeah. Yeah. He's a like Lance, you can explain it better than me. He's like a collectible reseller, but also like sells video games and consoles on like Amazon and eBay. So
interesting.
He does it all. I have an office full of like cards, like Pokemon and Magic the Gathering, he's
going to be a Pokemon scalper before you know it.
So that is what he does. Yes. I've lost all the questions, so
it's okay. I'm so on top of it. Would you ever do a video on talking with Jehovah's Witnesses and seeing if they can answer your questions? I don't know if that's to me or you, but I'm going to let you answer that.
Would I ever do a video? Probably not. If they I don't really understand that. Like,
yeah, maybe, I think like talking to a witness, like maybe they show up to your door and you have like a microphone or something. I don't know. Or at a cart.
No, I don't think so. Or I don't think I would ever do that. I kind of feel like it's, I don't know. That's just not my vibe.
Yeah.
Plus, also, we're like on the do not call list, and we have people that'll like work. We've had ones when they work their street, and they're like, They literally like walk past their house and don't look out at the door because they're terrified of us. So it's like, I don't think they'd ever come to my door. But maybe if we moved away one day.
Yeah, maybe.
Who
I would do a
knows?
video like that. That sounds like some stupid nonsense that I would get myself involved in. And then immediately regret it. But, you know, sometimes
I just prefer to fight them in my comments. That's what my new thing is on TikTok. They like to come in my comments and like tell me I'm evil and I'm going to die. And my new thing is I use ChatGPT. I'll like copy the thing and I'm like, give me a rebuttal from the Bible. And I'm just
not the
like
ChatGPT answer.
I'm plastering my page with like scriptures, and I'm like, see if you fight this. You can't fight the scriptures.
That's true. So. That's true. Well, it has been an hour and 45 minutes. Thank you so much for coming on JW Talks. How was your experience? How can I improve the show? I need you to tell me. It was great.
This was really awesome. Thank you for having me.
I like great.
I felt like we talked well. I didn't pay close enough attention to the chat. Sorry, everybody.
It is an
this
art
is my
form.
first live, so
it takes a long time. I'm still getting used to it. I'm getting better at it. But the first few times I streamed and then I didn't stream for a long time, and then when I started again, I was just like completely getting derailed by chat every time. Let's switch to guest. Oh, we didn't do the right transition for this. Okay, well, something to work on. Tell people where they can find you. Tell people what you got going on. Do you need to plug books, products, Facebook Marketplace? Did you mention them enough to actually get your sponsorship money?
Yes, please, Facebook. I said you enough. No, you can find me across like all social media. I am at home with Alyssa on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I also have like a full-on XJW page on TikTok that I sometimes post, and I'm not doing it as much though. And it's Alyssa's Awake. But I'm mostly just on my at home with Alyssa because I'm trying to like not be in two places at once because it's too complicated and it's too much. So that's where you can find me. I have nothing else going on. I try to post weekly videos, and that's about it. My focus is YouTube right now.
You only don't do XJW stuff? Come on, you gotta plug yourself. You gotta sell yourself.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm so bad at this. Okay. I don't just do XJW. Thank you for the reminder. I don't just do XJW stuff. I do everything from like days in my life as a mom, and I have one. I'm real fancy, guys. I have like one company who sponsors me a little bit, like with eyelashes. So I post videos on them a lot. That's about it. That's my life. I'm all over the board, and I do XGW, and I'm a mom. So that's what I post in life. And there you go. That's my plug.
And you know what? That was a mighty fine plug. That was really great. Well, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you. All your links are in the description already. If I missed any, double check and send that over to me.
Okay.
And if you ever are interested in doing this again, I would love to have you on again.
We'll do it again for sure.
All right. Well, you take care and have yourself a good Friday night.
All right. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to After Hours at JW Talks. Can you believe it? How do we feel? How do we feel about this one? How did this one go? Is my skills as an interview person getting better? Am I still terrible? Do I need to read more? Soul, you are always late. What's going in? What's going in? Wow, I read your comment that said in, and I was trying to say what's going on. Holy, this is a terrible start to After Hours already. Oh wait, yeah, chilling. Thank you. We got to get our music on. What is? Oh wait, but I have to adjust the volume on my end so it doesn't blow my ears out. And then I don't know what this. Can you guys hear this? Oh wait, we said 0.5 was the right spot, right? 0.5, boom. Okay. I don't know why we're getting like Christmas music though. I think this. Where's the little mini player? I like having the. Okay, this song is not working. Boom. Okay. I think we're good. Where? Okay. Now we're good. Now we're good. Pimo de Pomo? Maybe you're still around. You already said bye. Okay. Probably missed you. Good to see you, man. Tim Smith said a great interview. That's the type of energy. Tim will pass. Said great. Alyssa is awesome. Alyssa is awesome. You need a suit and tie to impute credibility. Is that what I need? I could like wear one of my goofy outfits. Like, I don't know. I could wear like a bear mask or put a silly hat on. Does this make me look more credible? I feel like this makes me look more credible. You're awesome, Wally. Love your energy. I try and bring that energy. Soul, you're forgetful. Not an excuse. People, oh, you know, you're good. But the huge banner at the top is annoying. Okay, I'm glad that... Can I use your first name? I'm just going to say Pimo de Pomo. I'm glad that you bring this up, Pimo de Pomo, because I wanted to ask this very important question. Is the JW Talks banner with the thing below it too much? Like, whenever we're doing it, does it... Because sometimes I'm like, it feels like the JW Talks thing is a little too big. Do we need to actually change that? Is that our next JW Talks after hours project that we need to work on? Is the banner too much? Because I was thinking about this. CJ, thank you very much. Joelle, where's your pipe and snifter of brandy? I don't drink anymore. We need to bring Lance on next? True. We were trained to be the best salespeople. We can use it against them. Exactly. I've learned so much from your channel, while it has offered me so much perspective. I am glad that I, in all of my chaos, was kind of useful. Okay. Now where people are talking about the banner. I also like some spicy to the mix also. Don't know what you mean by that, but I'll be spicy for you. I love this. Would love to chat like this. Suni-some? Send me an email. You can use your first name. You can use my first name. Oh, okay, Oliver. Cool. I get nervous. I don't know. Anyway, the banner's gotta go. Okay, so we got one banner's gotta go. Lance says the banner. Oliver hates the banner. Sig doesn't mind the banner. Joelle likes the banner. Jane Spitfire likes the banner. We're 3-2. We need more information, guys. What do we think of the banner? Because, okay, let's just look at what it would be like without that. So let's get rid of her thing. Because I think it's kind of neat having, maybe, is it the double banner that's off? You look like the One Piece character. Yeah. Yeah. That is kind of giving Luffy vibes. Okay. I will un-Luffy myself. J-Nick likes the banner. I don't know. I'm just saying. Soul likes the banner. A smaller banner. Okay. So let's think how we're going to do this. We can use our minds. So let's just say we do something like this. Oh, maybe I'd have to like resize it. What about doing something like this where it was like on each side? Amy says she likes the banner. The red looks like cherry juice to me. Side by side would be better. Okay, so like this type of vibe, I'll just have to resize this. No music with words. I still did not put any effort into. That looks better. So do we think it's better like this then? Because then I can have the person's channel, which I think is kind of cool. And then the JW Talks. I like the banner. It's fine. Yes, it's the double banner. That looks better. Okay. Can you maybe do like the JW Talks logo as an overlay in the top corner? Oh, like make the whole thing smaller? Let me go to Canva. Okay. Let's open Canva and see about this. It's so funny, when I was looking at her banner, I knew the name of the font that she used there. That's how much I use freaking Canva. It's disgusting. Anyway, okay. We'll do this for now, and then we'll come back to it. Can you put vertical on? Okay, now you're just Roberto. You're going off script here. It's too. You've gone too far. This is a bridge too far. That you've gone to the Netherlands. You are in Arnhem. For my military history buffs out there, all 3 of you. Hope you appreciate that joke. Okay, let's find where this banner is. JW Talks. So, making this design and then putting it in a smaller thing, like a logo. I think maybe that someone could be cooking. Boom. Thanks, QC Man, for 1 gifted membership to the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Joelle, thank you for joining Wally World. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, boom. Share, download. I don't think I need a transparent background. Okay, let's download this and go back to this screen. Let's just hide this one for now. No, hide it. Unlock it. Hide it. Boom. Okay, well that looks kind of weird, but let's see. Something like this? Is that what you're cooking with? And then their banner could be larger? Like that? This looks a little scuffed. Not gonna lie. I'm keeping a buck and a stack with you. This is looking scuffed as hell. What is wrong with this? I feel like there's potential here, but the potential's not being realized. Alpha, I hope you can get some help to. Oh, sorry, Alpha. What's going on? Did I miss something? Just wanted to say that my mental health is sucky today, and it's been scary to even fall asleep at night because of the nightmares involving death or bodily harm to myself. I'm so sorry, Alpha. I'm so sorry. Breathe, 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 breathe. Needs a transparent background? Golly. I feel like the shape is like weird though. Maybe can I make it like a circle? What if I put it in a frame? A circle frame. Boom. Well, that is the worst thing ever. Downloads. Okay, this one's off center, but don't worry about it. I have no idea why it's off center. It just is. Need to merge the overlay. What if it's like circular? Uh-oh, I think I have the bug. Oh no, okay. Sorry. Water World back in the day was crazy fire. True. I've been... You have been, Joel. As much as we all love ZZ, probably best to keep him locked up. Yeah, he is a real tragedy to have on a live stream. Not gonna lie. Absolutely just completely ruins everything. It's just hard to concentrate. It becomes just ZZ streaming. The banner unnecessary because I agree, already are on your channel. Your guest banners are cool though. Where's your email? It is jwthoughts.blog@gmail. jwthoughts.blog@gmail. The banner is like, I hear you that the banner is unnecessary, but I like it. I think it's cool. I think it's neat. I think it's something that kind of differentiates things for me. Do the sorry we're closed. I know, but we're working right now. This is working hours. This is, you could make it opaque. Oh, okay. Make it opaque like that. Like this one? But then like where does it go? Like, oh, are you saying like we do that but I put it on our cams? What if you make the cams bigger and then wait, hold on, are we cooking? Are we cooking? You do transparent. That one's a little too transparent, maybe. Make it a little smaller. Wait, hold up. Pause. Guys. Ladies and gentlemen. I think we might actually... Yeah, opaque? Okay, yeah. Is this what... Banners are good. People popping in can see right away what's happening. That's what I'm saying as well, because when you don't have that, people are like, wait, is this a live stream? Wally posts a freaking video all the time. I don't even know what I'm watching anymore, so they kind of get prepared for it. Dude, you're awesome. Good gas right there. Good gas. I kind of like how it looks now, the banner. Sorry, Soul. You're going to have to be a little more specific. Yes, that's what I meant. Oh, okay. Yeah, I actually kind of messed with this. So then if I get her... I mean, we won't use this, but okay, we gotta declutter. We have too many JW talks going on. We can get rid of this one. Okay, we get rid of this one. We can get rid of this one. Okay. Do we like the one on the... I don't know which side it is for you guys. Do you like the one with the thumbs up or the fist? That side. I don't know why we're either putting our... we're not gonna take the joke there. It's not gonna happen. We're just gonna not... We're gonna pretend like I never said anything. Which side do we like better? Wait. Thumbs up. Yeah. Like the logo of the JW Broadcasting in the corner. Man, this delay is the worst, though. The thumbs up side? Okay. Thumbs up, thumbs up? Okay. Thumbs up. Yeah, I gotta change this delay. It is miserable. I don't know if I can do it while I'm streaming. I have made a horrible mistake. It's this one. Okay, so we have that. So like, I'll be talking here. I can have my little bannerman. And it can be the JW Talks thing. But how am I going to turn this into a banner for them? Let's see. Upload files. Banners on the periphery. Huh? Graphic designing by proxy. I know. See, I'm terrible at this type of stuff. And so if we have a collective effort, then we don't just have to put up with my being terrible forever. You guys can assist me in not sucking. Well, that doesn't work at all. Okay, so I can't just do this easily. Oh, maybe I could go their YouTube, like on their channel instead of their banner. I could just use their profile picture. Thoughts? Is that a vibe? I mean, it wouldn't be like an exact... It wouldn't be exactly this, but... So like I could remove the banner. I could have boom, that one, boom, have the JW Talks one, right? And then we remove all the banners all together. And then I'd be talking here, but I can make myself large. But I can't make myself like too large. That's the one thing with like the streaming thing. Her banner has too much negative space. Yeah, we're not gonna worry about the specifics, just the general idea. General idea. I think this actually could work. I think next time we'll do this. I'll play around with it a little bit. Okay, Lance, Oliver, you guys were the minority, but I think I'm hearing what you're saying. Because you're right, when I am talking, I don't know why that was so loud. This banner is really big, isn't it? Like for the after hours, it works. Like this is just, like this kind of works, right? I think this is a vibe, but it makes more sense. When there's two people, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I like this. I think this is the move. At least we'll try it next week and we'll see. We'll try it out. I'll actually fully flesh it out. No, we can have... Okay. Now people are going to say they like the banner and everything's going to be... You know, not everyone can be happy. We will try it out. We're beta testing. You don't know something unless you try it out first. Okay? So this is just... we got to run the test. It'll be great. It'll be great. I like this for after hours. It's cool. Yeah, I think this works for the after hours, especially because it just like makes sense for the vibe. We're just kind of hanging out, talking about Florida and whatever else nonsensical things might be popping on in our heads. And that's fine. We respect that. We appreciate that. The only other thing I wanted to ask about from y'all's perspective is the timing. Do you like having 15 minutes of chat interaction? So we do the thing for an hour and a half. I get to the point faster where I don't just like blabber on like a moron. And then we do the hot takes. Is there anything people aren't talking about that you wish they were talking about? And then we go to the chat stuff. Should we add like another question in there? Much love, Frank. Jane, why are active JW got a YouTube videos now? I heard not to do this at all. Yeah, they're pretty funny. I don't know if you've had a chance to watch any of them, but they are a right laugh. Not gonna lie. Wally, you are the best. I'm still laughing over the fart the other day. You want to know how that joke came about? Is I had some food and then I came back outstairs to finish my recording and I legitimately had to fart. And normally I would just like wait because I'm like, I don't want the microphone to pick that up. But then I thought about like what I was about to record and I thought, well, that's just too funny not to do. So it was kind of like an accidental thing. I'm chilling. Thank you. Appreciate you. How come active JWs? I don't know. You maybe go and ask them in the... I just see them and I click off. Not interested in active. They're pretty funny if you watch them. I mean, they're kind of cringe. They're kind of cringe, not gonna lie. But, you know, they're pretty cool. Can I change this chat delay? Because it is driving me up a wall. Because usually I went with, like, the ultra low latency. Here, let me see if I can do this. Settings. Stream. I don't know if I can change this. Advanced. Replay buffering. Stream delay. Can I not change the latency? Can I do it within YouTube? Slow mode. Live reactions. I don't know if I can change it once it's on, honestly. Yeah, I don't think I can change it once it's on. Output? No. Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah, can't change it. Rats. Wally, I'd like to know if most folks here have a playlist to soothe their soul. Yeah, I don't really have like a soothe my soul playlist. I usually just listen to like rap music, rock music, country music. The joke was I was gonna just name every genre of music. I like all music. You will catch me listening to Eminem and then the opera, from Chopin to Snoop Dogg. I really enjoy music, so there's really nothing. Anyway, that joke was way funnier in my head. The chat is cool, love your content, but won't always be around for 1 hour plus live streams. Totally respect that. I gained all the time not going to meetings anymore. Yeah, for sure. Peace and love, brother. Peace and love. The chat delays are killing my OCD. Yeah, it's brutal. Not gonna lie. I wish I could change it, but we're not gonna be here long. We're not gonna be here long. No one said anything about the timing. We are not locked for after hours today. The timing. I know the Phantom of the Opera. I'm pretty sure I could sing that off the top of my head from start to finish. Could I? Pretty damn close. There was one point in my life where I certainly could. Here's my list. Fireworks. Wow. Coming out with Katy Perry. That's wild. We're really, yeah, people are making friends in chat, so I don't want to end the stream right away. People are literally like, wow, I know the same people you knew. And that's cool. Is a free online radio station I use with different genres? Wait, what? I don't know what you're saying. That's fine. Well, by the silence, I take it that most people enjoyed it. I'm trying not to have these streams go longer than 2 hours. So maybe we'll stick with this. I do enjoy the after hours, but I didn't actually get a chance to eat a whole lot after I got back from the gym. And I am... Oh, wait, well, there's one other thing. I noticed that the view count was almost double because it wasn't on the weekend. So I think going forward, I'm going to shift it from being on the weekend. I know this was almost the weekend, but I think like Wednesdays or something, like a Wednesday evening. I think Wednesday evening is going to be the play for live streams going forward. So Saturdays are out. Saturdays are done. And we're going to try something fresh and new. So hopefully that's okay with you guys. I think Wednesday evening is going to be oh my god. But I'm going to get out of here. So I'm going to say my goodbyes. Soul, thank you for showing up, even if you showed up late. Appreciate you. Joel, you're a real one. You're an OG. An actual OG around here. Much appreciated. Colin, here in the Bahamas. Shout outs to the Bahamas. That's your pottery class night. Shoot. Okay, we're not doing pottery class tonight. Wait, no, but it won't be the night for you. Night for me. So it'll be Thursday. Like well, Good night, Daddy is insane. Truckless. Later, dude. Never saw your name pop up in chat, but I'll see you later. Okay, well, I don't think if literally, I'm not even joking, if that would interfere with Joel, because like you've been around on the channel forever, so I feel like we need to respect the OGs. Jay Nick, have a good night. Have a good night. Thank you for stopping by. Jane Spitfire, as always, thank you. Sten, good to see you as always. What time on Wednesday? I don't know. Like, what time would work for you guys? I go to bed early. No, that's fair. I wouldn't be like super late. I'm on Pacifical time, so it would probably be something like 5, so 8. There's no shot in the world that you go to bed at freaking 8 o'clock. Like, what adult goes to bed before 10 or 11? I mean, I suppose for work, if you get up at like 4:30, then that'd be different. Roberto Martinez, good night. Anita, I think I saw your name pop up in chat that you were on a sobriety journey as well. Am I remembering that correctly? If you are, congratulations. Stay strong. If you ever need to reach out and just need someone to talk to, I got you. Substituting meetings for JW after hours. Let's not think about it like I'm becoming the substitute for Watchtower, because that's kind of cringe. Let's think about it like, yeah, you're kind of right. It is exactly like that, isn't it? Shit. I low-key go to bed at 8:30. That's a wild. Here I am making up some fictitious story. No, I knew some people just go to bed. Well, we'll try it, and if it doesn't work, and it's an inhibitory thing, then you go to karaoke. I don't know how to. CC. I'm just gonna go with CC. See you, Oliver. Have a good night, man. You go to 7 to 30. You wake up at 3. Yeah. See, you're on the real grind. but my room is still too dark. I am actively going to... I can be here at 8 p.m. See, exactly. I am actively going to work on this week adding some lighting behind me. I don't know... Karaokegen? Karaokegen. Did I pass? Teach? Okay, see ya. Bye-bye. I'm literally just wanting to know if I got this name correct, and then I'm going to end the stream. It would be very Wally-like to just end the stream right before. Yes, it's a pass. I am strong. I am smart. Huge. All right. Much love. Everyone take care. Be safe. All that good stuff.